Number 9. Tim Drake. Still in the DCAU, we're jumping forward in the timeline a bit to Batman Beyond, but really to when Tim Drake was Robin. Harley was able to knock him out with her mallet in an alley by pretending to be a woman getting mugged. This was so he could be brought back to the Joker and tortured until he became a little mini Joker who they could then raise together, as they had decided that they wanted kids. The whole thing was horrifying and would end with Harley seemingly falling to her demise, but cartoon logic rules and she survived and was shown to have had grandchildren who had grown up to join the Joker's gang, much to her disappointment. Number 8. Nightwing. This comes to us from the animated movie Batman and Harley Quinn. You know, the one where Harley ties Nightwing to a bed and has sex with him in a scene that you could never have done the other way, regardless of whether you found it hot or rapey. So when Batman and Nightwing are tracking down Harley Quinn, Dick is the one that finds her, and the two have a fight in an alleyway outside where she works, the best place for fights, alleys. And she bests him hard. Guess all that training didn't stick. It's after this that she takes him back to her apartment and gets undressed in front of him, and then when he has a biological response, which fun fact does not indicate consent, has her way with him. He seems into it, but again, you couldn't do this the other way, hence my salt. Number 7. Black Canary. Heading over to the Injustice verse for this one, we have Black Canary coming upon a newly reformed Harley Quinn in the Arrow Cave, and Harley and her end up getting into a pretty intense fight. They're evenly matched throughout most of it, until Black Canary, who is down for the moment, needs to ask for a bucket to throw up into, which effectively stops the fight, as Harley realizes that she's pregnant. Which, yeah, not a time to get into a fight where people who don't know could just go for the stomach. It's a vulnerable spot. Irresponsible. The two end up sitting down and having a heart-to-heart, where Harley opens up about having a daughter of her own who was fathered by the Joker, who she gave up so that she could have a better life. Such was the beginning of a beautiful friendship, defeated with kindness and empathy.
Number 7. Maxima. Based off of a similar interaction from the comics, Maxima of the royal house of the planet Almerac offered herself to Superman in the Superman animated series. She told him that they were a perfect genetic match and promised that if he was able to best her in combat, she would wed him. He told her that he wasn't interested, which caused her to start a fight with him. He did end up defeating her, but this only strengthened her attraction to him more. Delighted she had finally found someone who she deemed her equal. He beat her, but then she kidnapped him, because that's what you do, I guess, when you're in love with someone and they beat you in combat. Number 6. Batman. Usually Batman is the one that beats Superman. Despite not having superpowers himself, he is pretty much always prepared going into battle with Superman, or with anyone for that matter. It's his superior planning skills and ability to be prepared for any outcome that always gives Batman the upper hand, usually, and the edge in a battle. But what happens when Batman is without this skill? In the Justice League origin storyline from the New 52, we get to see what happens when Batman and Superman fight for the first time. Without Batman's extensive knowledge of Superman, he is left insanely vulnerable to the superpowered Kal-El. Green Lantern even attempts to help Batman out when all of Batman's gadgets that he would normally use to dominate in a fight seem to come up short. But even Green Lantern and Batman together proved no match for the Man of Steel.
Super tickled! No, Gucci, 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 Gucci.
Number 5. Wonder Woman. This one is only ranked so low because it is so brutal and it hurts my heart whenever I think about it. This fight happened in an alternate timeline where Superman and Batman become tyrannical leaders. Wonder Woman was one of the few heroes left who was attempting to save the world from their fascist supremacy. She managed to take out Bruce, but unfortunately was no match for the enraged Superman that she ended up crossing paths with, who was obviously pissed that she had taken out his BFF, Batman. Clark didn't just beat Wonder Woman though, no. He destroyed her. He demolished her shield, blasted through her bracelets, and ended up strangling her with her own lasso of truth. Oh, devastating. Number 4. The Hulk. Any battle with the Hulk proves interesting, as not many can take on the Green Giant and come out victorious. While the Hulk is Marvel and Superman is DC, we all bow down to the Hulk's strength, no matter what side of the fence we're on here. In other words, if a hero can beat the Hulk, it means something, namely that they are one of the strongest heroes in existence, because Hulk is on another level when it comes to his strength. During this crossover, Bruce Banner ended up being agitated by Lex Luthor and transforming into the Hulk in Metropolis. With innocence in danger, Superman swooped in and was forced to fight the Hulk out of the area. Superman fought him all the way to his Fortress of Solitude, but found himself unable to calm the Hulk down, and was forced to beat the Hulk by punching him so hard that he was knocked into the Phantom Zone. Now that is some strength.
Number 3. Batman, again. Yes, Harley took on Batman in Heroes in Crisis as well, and she was able to lasso him up with Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. Now some people say lasso. Do you say lasso or lasso? Let me know. She got it right around his neck while on his back. That's right, Harley Quinn was able to kind of fight the Trinity to a standstill by capturing Batman. In Heroes in Crisis, Harley could do anything. She got the lasso off of Wonder Woman after she got a hug from her after faking her out, because she also got a lot of hugs in this series. Everybody was really concerned about her. She nearly broke Batman's neck. Number 2. The Flash, Wally West. Wally West ended up being the core of Heroes in Crisis, and some feel it was a moment of complete character assassination, while others thought it was a brilliant commentary on mental health. Regardless of how you feel about that, in this comic, Harley beat the Flash. That's right, an ordinary woman with no powers beat the fastest man alive with an oversized hammer. Now, it would turn out there was a reason for this, kinda. An elaborate plot set up by Wally after he had snapped and killed the other people at Sanctuary, because he read everybody's files, you know, the deleted ones. He then used the Speed Force to time travel to cover up his crimes, including killing a future version of himself. But Wally has flash forward now, so maybe there's still hope for him, I believe. And finally, at number 1, Superman. Yes, Harley Quinn took on the Man of Steel, a depowered Man of Steel, but still, let me explain. This took place in Harley's Little Black Book series in issue 5. An alien wanted to set up a boxing match to take on Earth's champion, the Man of Steel, and ended up with the challenger being Harley Quinn. He depowered the Man of Steel so it would be a fair fight, and then proceeded to sit back and watch the action unfold. So Harley handily beat Clark. No contest really, she just had the moves, and Clark apparently has never taken anything close to resembling a martial arts class, even though this is hardly the first time he's been depowered. So Superman is knocked out by Harley Quinn, who is thrilled, though the reader is reminded to take Harley's retellings of events with a grain of salt. Still, this series is meant to be a fun romp of Harley adventures, and what more of a tall tale is there than her taking on the Man of Steel? Harley does love roller derby, maybe she also loves boxing.
Number 10. Goku. This fight was non-canon but has been the focus of more than one death battle video. Unfortunately, the odds of this happening in the pages of a comic or a manga seem slim, but hey, you never know. The only reason I'm actually ranking this one so low though is because of its non-canon status. Because who wouldn't want to watch a fight and see Superman triumph over Goku at the very end? We all assumed these two would have a great fight as they seem so evenly matched, both being from very strong alien races and almost the last of their kind. Goku got bested both times due to his desire to keep it a fair fight. In one of the death battle videos, Goku actually could have won if he had decided to use kryptonite, but he kind of felt like it was cheating, so wah, you lose. Goku just wants to win on brute strength alone. It's all about the power levels.
Oh boy, this is gonna be fun.
You're insane!
Number 9. The Elite. This entire team of anti-heroes got Superman's attention after they started dispatching villains in a brutal and violent way, even killing them. Superman, being very anti-violence, disagreed with their methods and told them to stop it. But their leader, Manchester Black, a powerful telekinetic, refused, laughing in Superman's face. Much to Kal-El's dismay, the team also seemed to be gaining popularity amongst civilians. The team and Superman eventually came to blows, and just as they thought they had won and defeated him and potentially killed him, Superman reappeared and seemed to hang up his morals momentarily in order to kill them all. The whole battle had been filmed and broadcast, so Manchester Black at least was able to declare that this proved that Superman was no better than they were. He was actually the only one left alive at the end, although Superman did apparently zap his powers away from him. But Superman once again managed to turn the tables on the Elite, revealing that he hadn't actually killed anyone, he just knocked out Manchester Black's teammates, and that his zapping of Manchester Black's powers was actually temporary and he would eventually recover. So yeah. Number 8. Flash. On the alternate Earth 2, Darkseid managed to create a clone of Kal-El, which appeared to possess almost all of the original Kal-El's memories actually. This version of Superman was known as Brutal, and while Superman often struggles to win against the Flash in the main continuity, this version of Superman both outran the Flash and managed to catch him. Even worse, he aimed to stop Jason Garrick, Earth 2's current Flash, from running away from him by crippling one of his legs. Ouch.
Number 5. Damian Wayne. No, we're not talking about the new R-rated series that drops F-bombs and C-words and anything else it can to prove that it is indeed adult. Harley has had a run-in with young Damian as early as episode 4, but for this, we're once more looking at the Injustice universe. Here, Damian is Nightwing, a mantle he took up after accidentally killing his older brother, Dick Grayson, in a moment of anger. This would of course put a huge distance between him and Bruce. Dick's his favorite, don't at me. He ends up allying with the regime, and as a result, when he gets into it with Harley, she is not here for it, and she hands his butt right back to him, channeling all her rage at what she feels is his mistaken allegiance all the way back at him. This ties into her feelings about her former relationship with the Joker. She goes so hard, she nearly kills him and needs to be pulled off. Take that, training with the League of Assassins that doesn't have anything on an angry Harley Quinn. Number 4, Booster Gold. We now come to Heroes in Crisis. The Harley from this story, well, let's say she had some special the author likes me OP powers. One of the heroes Harley would defeat in this series, yes I said one of, was Booster Gold. Her and Booster would both for a while believe the other was responsible for the deaths at the Sanctuary. This was the super secret farmhouse that every hero and villain knew about, that you had to go to otherwise you were shamed. This was for therapy from an AI who then deleted the information, except it didn't actually. Harley would angrily take on Booster Gold, and he wouldn't prove to be much of a challenge for her. Why didn't he use his fancy 25th century tech? Because, well, he didn't want to hurt her? She just needed to get that mad out of her system. This was very much everyone beat up Booster Gold the series. At least he got to have some pie.
Number 3, Azrael. Right after the 1993 Nightfall storyline when Batman got wrecked by Bane, his back was broken. He decided to pass the Batman mantle to not Dick Grayson, no, instead he chose Jean-Paul Valley, aka Azrael. This guy is a crazy substitute. I mean, his run as Batman wasn't the same at all. Batman wasn't nearly as violent as Azrael. He's also just messy and irresponsible the way he handles things. Not really a great look for Gotham, but we have to admit he is a tad impressive because he did beat Bane with his, advanced Autobot looking suit. So he did a good job on paper. He was a decent successor but not a permanent one. Once Bruce recovered, he had to physically force Azbat to leave the position. He got too cozy in the crime fighting life, but you know what? I don't blame him. But yeah, as far as being Batman, even the style changes were drastic. He had claws. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of claws. If someone was saving my life from a crime and he had claws looking like that, I would think I'm in more trouble. Number 2, Green Lantern. This one comes from Justice League issue 5. Fans refer to it simply as the Punch. At this time in comics, Batman was about to become the leader of the Justice League International, and Guy Gardner doesn't really share the same enthusiasm as the rest of the team. For more than one issue, he makes it very clear that he doesn't want Batman to run the show, although Batman was clearly a better fit for the role. Whatever, people get jealous. Guy was being sour, he was being a sour guy, so he challenged Batman to a fight without the use of his power ring, just one human to another. Batman was already a human before, so it's gonna get messy. Batman easily knocked him down, and you guessed it, he did so with one punch. Yeah, of course, he's Batman, and without the ring, you're literally just a guy. Literally a guy. Blue Beetle started shouting one punch over and over again. He was hyped up, and readers were for sure doing the same. I know I was. And finally, number 1, the Justice League. One of the more impressive defeats comes from the Tower of Babel storyline that began back in JLA issue 43. It's a 4-parter written by Mark Waid, where Ra's al Ghul and the League of Assassins strike against every member of the Justice League using their personal lives and vulnerabilities. How does one get all this information? Well, it's all thanks to Batman and his trust issues. See, Bruce was keeping a hidden file that exposed all the strengths and weaknesses of the JLA. He made this file just in case any of them were to go rogue. So this man just gave away revenge recipes. Here you go, here's the password, enjoy. Batman figured all these out, so he wrote them down. Okay, so red kryptonite to use on Superman, okay. Nanites to trap Wonder Woman in a virtual battle with herself. A post-hypnotic suggestion would make the Green Lantern will himself into blindness. He has a Vibra bullet as well that would send the Flash into light speed seizures, and a magnesium virus would cause Martian Manhunter's skin to burst into flames when he's exposed to air. Also, Scarecrow's fear toxin would make Aquaman afraid of water, and Plastic Man, well, you just freeze him and flick him. Some blame Ra's al Ghul, but I blame the guy who had a dirty file of secrets. I don't know. I don't trust rich orphans anymore, that's my thing. I'm for sure going through all my friends' phones now. Number 7, Green Arrow. Whenever Batman breaks his one rule, it's pretty alarming. He did it a few times in the early comics. I mean, he pushed a guy into acid, he threw another guy into a knife, and then he broke a dude's neck with one kick. It was pretty intense, but nothing comes close to the time that Batman beat Green Arrow half to death just for Superman's birthday. Yeah, hear this one out. This takes place in Superman and Batman's Absolute Power storyline. It takes place in an alternate timeline where Superman and Batman were raised as evil rulers instead of the protectors that they are now. It's a stressful but pretty awesome time, I gotta admit. They're hunting down Green Arrow, and the fight, as you would guess, doesn't last too long. Archer almost gets Superman as well. He comes very close. Clark catches the arrow, and then moments later, kryptonite explodes out of it. The classic Loki Hawkeye trick. It's good. Always works. Batman gets upset here. He says, hey, if you just hurt him, I'll kill you. So that's pretty crazy for Bruce. That's like 0 to 100 for Bruce Wayne. They brawl it out a bit, and then when Archer goes down, Bruce says, get up, because he wants more. At that point, I would my jeans. That's crazy. He's so angry. Now, this is when Superman flies in and turns Archer into dust with his laser vision. He's telling Green Arrow's corpse to obey or die, so it's very intense. Batman did all the heavy lifting here, and it's even more twisted when you remember that he gave Archer up to Superman as a birthday present. Number 6, the Ninja Turtles. Batman beating up the Foot Clan and coming face to face with Shredder is pretty awesome. But when he meets the Turtles, he has no idea what exactly he's facing. He's like, are these good guys or bad guys? I'm very confused. All he sees are giant moody turtle monsters with weapons, just like eating pizza. So of course, a brawl goes down. It also doesn't help that the Turtles were breaking and entering into a pizza joint. Like, you're literally breaking the law, you're a bad guy. Batman thinks these guys are villains, so he takes them on all at the same time. He impressed the Turtles while doing so, and it takes Master Splinter's arrival just to calm things down. But even then, Batman's like, a rat? No sweat, I'll fight you too. Batman vs. Ratman, let's do it. He doesn't beat up Splinter, don't worry, because Splinter makes a run for it, which is crazy. The fact that Splinter and the Turtles had to run away from Bruce Wayne, that's awesome. We had to include it on this list. Until next time, Batman, just eating pizza. Number 5, The Punisher. I would pay thousands of dollars to see this on screen. No problem, debit, boop. Punisher Batman Deadly Nights, written by Chuck Dixon. We get to see John Romita Jr. draw Batman during his 37 years at Marvel Comics, which is amazing. So both of these heroes were on the same side, more or less. They wanted bad guys off the street, but the way that Frank Castle does that, by spraying, a plethora of bullets, Batman likes to break an armor too, so they're a little bit different. So they get into a disagreement over Batman's one rule, and Frank is moments away from taking out the Joker, and then Batman intervenes and saves the Joker's life, which is kind of crazy. Batman lets Frank connect one hit to the face because he was frustrated, but one is all he'll get tonight.
Number 3, Dr. Fate. This battle was a surprisingly quick one. You would think that it wouldn't even be a fair fight for the Man of Steel due to his weakness to magic, a weakness that really only exists to prevent him from being so overpowered. Remember the original Superman, like before the 80s? No weaknesses, and he just seemed to have a limitless amount of convenient superpowers? Oh, those were the ultimate days for our caped vigilante. No longer, unfortunately. Superman was retconned and given limits and weaknesses to make him a more interesting character. After all, everyone enjoys reading about his struggle. We want to see Superman, try and fail sometimes. This battle between Dr. Fate and Earth 2 Superman, the Kal-El clone known as Brutal, was not that though. Not a struggle. Not at all. Superman snuck up on the magical hero and smashed his helmet, which is kind of Dr. Fate's power source. Therefore, in doing so, he instantly defeated him. Well, that was easy.
That was easy.
Number 2, Thor. In the JLA/Avengers series from 2003, we saw the two famous superheroes from competing comic book powerhouse publishers come to blows as they raced one another to prevent the opposing team from seizing the 12 items of power. In the series, we saw a battle that put Thor up against Superman in the Savage Lands in a one-on-one fight over the Cosmic Cube. These two strong characters had always been a heated topic of debate for fans who mulled at who would be the victor should the two come to blows in a crossover. The answer? Superman proved to be the stronger after stopping an attack from Thor and then just KOing him in a battle, ending the famed debate once and for all. Just kidding, I'm sure everyone's still debating. Y'all can have a debate in the comments who you think would win again in a fight. Number 1, Shazam. In the Injustice Gods Among Us video game, we saw these two similar heroes come to blows. While many might think that Shazam having magic at his disposal would allow him to make quick work of Superman, being that Superman's weakness is magic, turns out they'd be wrong. In Injustice, we see a darker side of Superman, one who is no longer holding back his power. He freezes Shazam's mouth shut and melts his brain with his heat vision after Shazam disagrees with the Man of Steel. Yikes. Remind me to never get in an argument with Injustice Superman.